Hello and welcome to the Channel 1 Newsroom from our studios at number 5 Owula Hansen Lane at Tesano. I'm Frema Edunyame. Coming up. Environmental Protection Authority closes down 19 Chinese-owned warehouses at Anyangkwanta in the Ashanti region for allegedly stocking and assembling champagne machines.
Largely, most of the shops we've been to, probably all of them, are owned by Chinese nationals. We've not seen a single Ghanaian-owned shop like this. So we are still on. Maybe we'll meet, maybe we'll not meet. But as it is illegal, we close.
Heated exchanges in Parliament as MPs on either side of the House trade accusations over illegal mining.
Arrested because of galamsey, but an NDC member of Parliament led tax to go and attack security forces because of galamsey, and you have the knife, you have the audacity to accuse us. Arrest the galamseyers.
The former defense minister wants to know who we have arrested. As we speak today, your regional chairman.
Shraj Ban's former Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, Dr. Amishadai Owusu-Amwa, from holding public office for 5 years and recommends him for prosecution over corruption. Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, wins landmark arbitration case against PDS in London. Also coming up, leading radio station Citi FM celebrates 21 years of broadcasting excellence with Thanksgiving service.
It's not he that wills, it's not he that runs, but it's God that shows mercy. It's not the one who came in first. It's not the one who came in last. It's the one who decided to commit himself or themselves to the process. Now I'd like to acknowledge.
In Channel 1 Business. Inflation rate falls to 8%, recording its lowest level since June 2021. And in Channel 1 Sports. Suspension of professional boxing in Ghana lifted effective November 6, 2025. Many thanks for joining us. Now, officials from the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, led by Chief Executive Officer Professor Nanama Brand-Kluche, have closed down 19 Chinese-owned warehouses at Anyangkwanta in the Ashanti region for allegedly stocking and assembling champagne machines and other equipment used in illegal mining. The facilities, which were registered as spare parts warehouses, were discovered to contain hundreds of champagne machines and components used for illegal mining operations, popularly known as galamsey. Channel 1 News' Ashanti regional correspondent Doris Lonta reports.
Operation follows the EPA's recent nationwide directive banning the fabrication, importation, sale and use of champagne machines due to their harmful effect on the environment. The authority says the manufacturing of these machines is being conducted without the necessary environmental permits or authorizations, contrary to the Environmental Protection Act 2025, Act 1124, and the Environmental Protection, Environmental Assessment Regulations 2025, LI 2504. In an interview, Professor Kluche says the clampdown is part of the EPA's broader strategy to tackle illegal mining and its devastating impact on Ghana's water bodies, forests, and farmlands. She emphasized that similar enforcement exercises will be carried out in other regions heavily affected by galamsey to ensure full compliance with the new environmental regulations. She warned that any individual or warehouse found violating the directive will face prosecution.
Some people have permits to operate the warehouse, but their permit condition they told us to permit them as EPA was that they are going to sell spare parts for caterpillars and big trucks. But when we see water pump, we see the mat that captures the gold. We see water hose. We see engines, radiators, and all these machines. This has nothing to do with caterpillars. So we know clearly that they are illegally operating or selling these machines and parts to illegal miners in the country. Largely, most of the shops we've been to, probably all of them, are owned by Chinese nationals. We've not seen a single Ghanaian-owned shop like this. So we are still on. Maybe we'll meet, maybe we'll not meet. But as it is illegal, we're closing down and taking them on.
Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the EPA also highlighted challenges encountered during the enforcement exercise.
The man is inside and when they saw that we started operations from the first shop, they all closed themselves into the shops. We have spent the past 10 minutes trying to break through this door. And just when the door was broken and we entered, the Chinese man was standing right at the entrance.
EPA officials have urged the public to adhere to the Chamfan ban or face sanctions and possible prosecution. Reporting for Channel 1 News, I'm Doris Lonta, Ashanti Region.
Now, tensions heightened in Parliament on Wednesday as the minority and majority caucuses accused each other of involvement in illegal mining activities, a situation they say undermines efforts to combat the practice. The minority caucus argued that the government's inability to apprehend influential individuals linked to illegal mining is due to alleged involvement of figures within the National Democratic Congress, NDC. In response, the majority caucus referenced the ongoing trial of the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party as evidence that the individuals from the party are also being engaged in the menace. There is more in this report.
The subject of illegal mining resurfaced on the floor of Parliament on Wednesday, generating heated debate amongst lawmakers from both sides of the House. Now, both caucuses accused each other of involvement in the menace, hampering the fight against the canker.
Your own member of parliament, no MP so far, has been accused or arrested because of galamsey, but an NDC member of parliament led tax to go and attack security forces because of galamsey. And you have the knife, you have the audacity to accuse us. Arrest the galamseyers. Arrest them. You are not arresting them because the NDC people are doing it. It is the NDC people who are doing galamsey. That's why you are not arresting them. Otherwise, arrest them.
We had people who were saying that they will not stop galamsey today, they will not stop it tomorrow because they want to win power. We had people who said that their party needed money and that galamsey was the way their party could raise money. Mr. Speaker, we're in this country where people told us that they had put their presidency on the line and ended up with the presidency at home and left us with galamsey. They should remember to tell the people of Ghana the path that they took, the things that they did, the evil that they did against this country in destroying our environment. Mr. Speaker, they cannot all of a sudden become holier than thou. We cannot tell people not to politicize so that you can gag people and do politics with it. And if you decide to politicize it, we will meet you boot for boot.
We came into this life with nothing, and we shall go nothing. All the monies that we are going to get through all these illegal activities, we will leave them here. And who suffers? Our children will suffer. Those yet unborn will suffer. So I want to urge the president that he must act, and he must act now.
The people of Ghana saw your record in the past 8 years. We saw you in office in the last 8 years, when you told the people of this country that your party was looking for money, and the only way you could get money was to engage in galamsey activities. Mr. Speaker, you turned the Ministry of Science and Environment into an office where we were sharing galamsey among yourselves. The former defense minister wants to know who we have arrested. As we speak today, your regional chairman is facing trials. He is facing trials.
Whereas the majority caucus believes that government is making frantic efforts to tackle the menace, the minority says efforts at dealing with the canker must be intensified. Reporting for Channel 1 News from Parliament, Ni Ayikwe Okain.
Now, for more on the exchanges in Parliament, let's speak to Mensha North MP Akwesi Konedu, whose statement on the floor sparked the debate. Now, thank you very much, Honourable, for joining us. Now, if you can hear me loud and clear, was this the kind of reaction you anticipated from your statement, especially as the debate focused on the roles that both major political parties, the NDC and NPP, have played in fueling illegal mining activities?
Frima, thank you very much. I hope I can be heard loud and clear.
Very loudly.
Frima, when I made the statement, this statement was meant to draw the attention of everybody to the needless death that we are experiencing in this country as a result of illegal mining activities, both direct and indirect, and the call of action by the executive and all of us towards the fight against small-scale illegal mining activities in this country. But the approach currently adopted by our colleagues in the NDC and the government is an approach of visiting the past, which is supposed to be a guide for us, but now tend to be a justification for recklessness as to how the handling of illegal small-scale mining activity in this country is going. You would always find people who make references to the past, events of the past, whether right or wrong allegations, whether confirmed as fact or not, and use that as a justification for what is happening today. And I find that very worrying. In the statement, I cataloged some events that have happened in this country where individuals have lost their lives, and where also indirectly, because currently, Frima, people in the sciences, either food, nutrition, pathologists, and the rest are telling us that the effect of small-scale mining activities on our water bodies, in our forest reserves, in our farmlands, the consequences of it, the use of chemicals, and the effect that we are going to have indirectly over a period of time is devastating. Currently, as we speak, our forest resources, in terms of the trees that we have, trees that could have served as resources for building, for medicinal purposes and the rest, are going extinct. In the same way, even animals that were indigenous to certain local areas are going extinct. We are losing our natural resources and the rest.
Right.
It is affecting us. So the call for action by the executives currently is neither anything that people on the opposite side of the aisle ought to be referring us to the past. If that should be the case, therefore not ought to be any discussion about this matter.
But before you go on, is this to suggest that the human cost of galamsey is not being given enough national attention?
Frema, of course, yes. And I would give you more examples about that. Frema, I would not even want to come first and foremost to what happened at Hwidim in the Bunahafo region. But if you would remember, about 2 months ago at Agresu, where you had men amassing to face men in uniform, armed, it ended up with the life of one assembly member. Fema, what happened just about 3 days ago is a worrying situation. Currently, as we speak, these actions, direct or overt, by political actors, because now I say so because there is members of parliament whose names have been mentioned, and Speaker have had calls to complain about that. We know that one was reported to have been invited by the police, sent to court, and bail conditions have been given for the person to go for investigations to continue. These activities are emboldening people in the small-scale illegal mining activity.
Right.
They are armed. If you look at what the colonel said and the information that we have, evidences abound. These people were armed with rifles.
Right.
If we encourage that, we are only building up bandits who will later on carry this country as hostage.
Right, Honorable, for the sake of time, I would want us to move a bit quickly. Let's look at what transpired in Parliament today. What conclusions have you drawn, in the partisan posturing of illegal mining activities in the country and how this is affecting the fight against illegal mining?
The conclusion I've drawn is that our people in government now are not interested in discussing the matter of illegal mining activities, but rather want to shift the blame and recall the past into the present. And that is very worrying. If anybody would want to do that and use that as a justification, why we should just accept what is happening now, because in the past, this is what happened in the rest. It means they are not willing to act on these matters. And that is very worrying. And that is the situation that I don't want us to find ourselves in, but our people would want us to find ourselves in, people in government now. Because if we don't act and act well now, there will be no future for us today, for our children to come and continue. If you heard the submission of my honorable member, Professor Kislinyako from Kwadaso, you just could see the worry in his tone. But the other people could not take that and felt that they ought to be recalling the Environment Ministry as a place. Look, are they wanting to tell us that the colonel that is leading Naimos today, telling us that he feared for his life? And I recall that in his mind, maybe the errors of Major Mahama was coming to his mind. Is that what they want us to be having under their reign? That is a serious matter. And we all have to call up and make sure that we call the executive to order and tell them they cannot use the charade of calling people and they will tell you we are bringing our own people on board and we are sending them to Yoko, Yamin, and Abanga. We sent Kwado to the court and they read as a charade.
We'll have to end here.
Honorable,
thank you very much for your time on the Channel 1 Newsroom. So we've been talking to the Menchia North MP, Akwasi Kunedu, on what transpired on the floor of Parliament today. Now, moving on, the New Patriotic Party, NPP, has accused the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine, of breaching his oath of office and engaging in conduct that undermines the integrity of Ghana's judiciary. Addressing a press conference at the party's headquarters in Asylum Down, the NPP said the Attorney General's alleged media trials and public declarations of guilt against accused persons amount to unlawful interference in ongoing court proceedings. Channel 1 News' Jude Duncan was at the press briefing and filed this report.
The opposition New Patriotic Party cited the removal of the Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu and what it describes as unreasonable bail conditions as basis for its concerns about the independence of the judiciary. Speaking at a press conference to address recent developments in the country, the General Secretary of the NPP, Justin Kodua Frimpong, described government's adherence to the rule of law as shameful, likening it to George Orwell's famous novel, Animal Farm. Mr. Frimpong also accused the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine, of engaging in media trials of individuals perceived to be political opponents in ongoing corruption cases.
We have an Attorney General and Minister of Justice, the person of Honorable Dominic Ayine, who has turned himself into a court of competent jurisdiction and pronouncing accused person guilty even before he takes them to court or when their matter is pending before the court. He holds media trial, makes prejudicial statements, violating his oath of office and legal professions rules, which govern the conduct of all lawyers, and nobody is able to call him to order, not even the judiciary. It's a shame for our democracy.
The NPP General Secretary also announced members of the newly constituted Amnesty Committee of the party established to promote reconciliation ahead of the party's internal elections. Additionally, Mr. Kodua Frimpong announced the party's decision to establish an intra-party advisory committee aimed at addressing concerns and grievances in the build-up to the party's primaries.
The National Council also constituted a committee that referred to as the Amnesty Committee. The Amnesty Committee has been set up by the National Party, i.e. the National Council, so that at least in the spirit of reconciliation, in the spirit of bringing all our members together, the Amnesty Committee is to look at all issues that will come before the committee to make sure that we facilitate the process
of granting amnesty to our members. The chairman for the amnesty committee is Honorable Enimedu Entry, Member of Parliament for Asante Achim Central. We also have Mr. Peter McMenu, former national chairman of our party, as a member. Mr. Divan Agohun, our Greater Accra Regional Chairman, as member. We have Deputy Director of Communication, Rabi Salifu, as member, and our Director of Research, Enes Kumi, as member of the Amnesty Committee.
The Commission of Human Rights and Administrative Justice, SHRAJ, has found former Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Dr. Amishadai Owusu-Amoah, of being complicit in corruption, fraud and procurement breaches that caused a financial loss of over 8.9 million cedis to the state. SHRAJ has directed that Dr. Owusu-Amoah be barred from holding any public office for 5 years and referred to the Attorney General for prosecution. The investigation revealed that under his leadership, the GRA awarded multi-million city contracts through single-source procurement to Ronald Motors Limited, Sajal Motors and Trading Company Limited, and Telenor Ghana Limited. SHRAJ further found that Sajal Motors and Telenor Ghana had no verifiable business locations, had fraudulently entered separate contracts with Ronald Motors for the same vehicles, and that all three companies were non-tax compliant at the time of the transactions. Now, we're joined on the phone lines by Joseph Pemka, lawyer for the company cited in the SHRAJ report. Thank you very much, Mr. Pemka, for joining us.
Thank you very much. Good evening to your cherished listeners and viewers, and thanks for having me.
Now, what has been the initial reaction of your clients to the SHRAJ findings?
First of all, let me correct some factual inaccuracy that you've just stated in your intro. The issue of tax irregularities or evasion, Ronald Motors is not part of it. It is Sajel and then Telenor.
Thank you very much for that.
In fact, in the report, it is stated clearly that Ronald Motors have even exhibited receipts of tax obligations that have been done and complied with. And also.
Right.
So let's establish that.
Right. Thank you.
But Fema, the fundamental issue that we need to deal with in this matter is whether or not there was a contract and whether the contract was approved by PPA. And if it was approved by PPA, what do they do before they approve? You know, these are the fundamental things. And again, we have to look at the fact that there was a complainant in the matter, and later the complainant withdrew. What is the legal effect of the withdrawal of the complainant?
So bring us up to speed.
Yes, so I'm going to just look at that very briefly. You see, so as I stated, these companies saw the opportunity, sold for sale, and they applied for it. Then it went to PPA. PPA vetted and approved and brought it back to GRA, and the contract was awarded to them, and they delivered. In fact, there is nowhere in the report that says it wasn't delivered. Now, this is the very interesting bit of the argument that I want to put across. What SHRAJ is saying is that when they checked the prices of the said vehicles at Toyota Ghana, they realized that the prices had been inflated by a certain amount by the various companies. But this is where they get it all wrong and completely misleading the public. Toyota Ghana are the original importers and distributors of Toyota in Ghana. And so any company in Ghana that wants to trade in Toyota vehicles can go to Toyota and buy them and sell. So when they applied for sole sourcing, they went to Toyota, bought the vehicles, and I cannot buy a vehicle from Toyota at 100 Ghana cedis and sell it at 100 Ghana cedis.
So it was inflated?
So definitely the companies, what they did was that they procured these cars from Toyota, they calculated all their cost margins and added their profit margin and sold it to GRA. That's what happened. Unless SHRAJ wants to say that from now, every Ghanaian who wants a car by any state institution must go to Toyota to buy, not any other Ghanaian company or entity. In which case, all Ghanaian entities that want to deal with Toyota Ghana and do business will collapse. If that's what Shrike wants to tell us.
So what do you make of the report indicating that the companies lack the capacity to deliver on the contracts awarded to them?
And they delivered. If they lack capacity, they delivered. And that is why it's even more curious. Because if they lack capacity, they could not have delivered. But they delivered on the contract.
To the letter?
The vehicles, yes, they supplied all the vehicles. In fact, there's no part that Shrike is saying that vehicles were not supplied. No part of the report says so. All that they are saying is that they have arrived at a conclusion that the vehicles were supplied at prices higher than the prices that Toyota Ghana is quoting. And that's what makes it ridiculous, because we are not Toyota Ghana. And we bought the vehicles from Toyota Ghana and then sold them to the state entity, GRA.
Right, now
so
quickly before you go, right.
To buy a car
you are in business, we get that.
Sell it at the same price.
Right. Now, Shraj has also directed that these companies be excluded from any future dealings with the state. How do you take that? Would you challenge this?
Again, let me correct that.
Right.
Prima.
Okay.
There are two of the companies that they made that directive, but not all the three.
Right. So which ones and which one?
They didn't say so for Rono. They said so for only Telino and Sagel, that they should be barred from future. And again, let me state this, that by the Shraj Act and the LI governing it, any entity investigated that is not satisfied with the report is enjoined by law to challenge him in the High Court. And I have been instructed by the companies to so challenge the findings in the High Court and overturn it. And let me just conclude by stating that all these findings, if they are not set aside, are binding on the companies. And we are exercising that right to go to the High Court to have the charges set aside.
Right.
Again, finally,
okay.
The complainant withdrew. We were cooperating with the Shraj in their investigation. We supplied them documents. We went there once and we were cooperating. But when the complainant withdrew the complaint, our understanding was that was the end of the matter, because our clients and the complainant and lawyers met and explained the issues to the complainant, and the complainant realized that he had erred. So he withdrew the complaint.
Right.
And when he withdrew it, we too decided that, okay, once the complaint is withdrawn, we're no longer going to Shraj, and they didn't invite us.
Very
so
well.
They proceeded without hearing us further. And again, that one will also be raised.
Right. I'm sure that's why you are going to challenge this.
Yes.
Right. Now, quickly before you go, we understand you're also the lawyer for the former CEO of the National Food and Buffer Stock Company, Hanan Abdul Wahab, and his wife, Faiza, correct?
That is correct.
Right. So how are they faring following the 150 million cedi bail granted by the court?
Well, that was a humongous one. The bail was high, but we are doing our best. We've gathered the necessary documentation, and we are going through verification.
Right.
The various institutions are very Lands Commission, and then AESL are doing the necessary statutory functions to ensure that clearance is given. And we are hoping and praying that during the week we'll meet the requirements and have them released.
Very well. Thank you very much, Lawyer Joseph Penka, for your time.
I'm grateful.
Right, now this is the Channel 1 Newsroom. Moving on, President John Dramani Mahama has cut sword for the commencement of the Winchi-Boli Solar Wa Road project in the Savannah region. The project, which spans the Bono, Savannah and Upper West regions of Ghana, is part of selected roads to be constructed as part of government's Big Push program. President Mahama, while cutting sword for the commencement of work, said contractors have assured of completion in 24 months.
We expect compliance with the highest technical standards, environmental protection, and transparent oversight by the Ghana Highway Authority and the Ministry of Roads and Highways. When completed, travel time between Winchi to Wa will be cut by more than 50%. Vehicle operating costs will decline by more than 40%. And road accidents will reduce by approximately 45%. And agricultural output and trade will rise sharply as farm produce will reach the markets on time.
The Public Accounts Committee PAC of Parliament has referred the University of Education, Winneba, to the Attorney General for prosecution and the recovery of 28 million Ghana cedis allegedly paid illegally to top management between 2020 and 2021. The committee said the payments were made as unbudgeted allowances and honoraria outside the university's approved budget, with no evidence of work done to justify them. Channel 1 News' Christopher Kevin Asima has the rest of the story.
At Wednesday's sitting of the Public Accounts Committee, members questioned officials of the University of Ghana over the Auditor General's directive to refund salaries paid to senior staff who took study leave but did not return to post after more than 5 years. Vice-Chancellor Professor Nana Aba Apia Amfo told the committee that the university had initiated steps to retrieve the outstanding amounts.
We have made a number of recoveries in this regard. Some have fully paid. Some are also on payment plans, and there are a few which we have not made progress in terms of being able to contact them, that we have also sought the support of EOCO.
Meanwhile, the CK Tedem University of Technology and Applied Science has been directed to pay 17,716 Ghana cedis in value-added tax, which it failed to deduct before making payment on a 98,600 Ghana cedis contract, despite the tax clause being clearly stated in the agreement.
I have admitted that the letter we wrote to the contractor included VAT. However, the payment we paid to the contractor was VAT exclusive.
So somebody has to pay the VAT?
Because it was works. It wasn't, they were not supposed to charge the VAT, but somehow...
Who said they were not supposed to charge the VAT? That's illegal.
The Vice-Chancellor of the University of Education, Winneba, which was cited for making unauthorized payment to the tune of 28 million in allowance and honorarium to former senior management, said several efforts to recover the money have so far proved unsuccessful.
We thought that, they would refund those monies. But then having pursued them and they are not responding. We thought you could have that kind of capacity to help us to do that.
Respectfully, what constituted the honorarium payment? What activities warranted the 28 million inappropriately paid honorarium?
The committee was not able to identify any specific activity or service provided, for which you only see a memo, and that was it.
The ranking member of the committee, Samuel Atamels, referred the university to the Attorney General and Minister of Justice for prosecution and recovery of the funds.
So we'll recommend that we add it to the list of those who will be prosecuted by the Attorney General. You pay 28 million and nobody knows what they pay for.
The Public Accounts Committee will continue its sitting tomorrow, Thursday, November 6th, focusing heavily on education. Appearing before it will be a number of technical universities across the country. Reporting for Channel 1 News, I am Christopher Kevin Asima.
Now in some other news, the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, has secured a decisive legal victory in London after an international arbitration tribunal dismissed all claims brought against it by Power Distribution Services Ghana Limited, PDS. The ruling, delivered after nearly 3 years of proceedings, ends a long-running dispute over the controversial termination of the PDS concession agreement, a deal that was once touted as a major step toward reforming Ghana's power distribution sector. The ruling is a major win for ECG and the government of Ghana, shielding the state from potential financial liability amounting to hundreds of millions of dollars. It also brings closure to one of the most contentious chapters in Ghana's recent energy sector history. This is the Channel 1 Newsroom. Still to come. Inflation rate falls to 8%, recording its lowest level since June 2021. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Hey Ghana, so you people know Miss Brother once more. If you knew, It's your boy. Kill them all, kill them all. But this time, I'm not only killing mosquitoes, I am killing the greats. See? This wouldn't have been possible if I didn't have the perfect mosquito-free atmosphere. Thank you, Out Insecticide. And yeah, Out Mosquito Coil. For a mosquito-free atmosphere, trust Out to... You are not serious.
Out Insecticide. So ya boa, faha.
Having the right diagnosis can save your life. Welcome to SynLab. Inside the state-of-the-art facility, patients have the benefits of cutting-edge technology, experienced lab technicians, personalized care in our ultra-modern clinic, and most importantly, answers.
I've been doing all my tests at MedLab for over 20 years, till they rebranded to SynLab. You know, he was just a little boy when I started bringing him to MedLab. Oh, sorry, SynLab.
SynLab is the new MedLab.
My family trusts SynLab.
At SynLab, our highly trained personnel give our clients personalized attention every step of the way.
SynLab is the preferred option for your annual routine health checks to avoid negative health surprises.
SynLab is the new MedLab.
SynLab, medical excellence for you.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame? As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
The second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again? Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa dear. Why wouldn't he be late? Or being late, of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. You go feel the luckiest. Go feel from Georgia be luckiest. From not the cause she be luckiest. Yeah, you go feel be luckiest. No matter why you're lucky. Everybody go feel be that luckiest.
That's Kwame!
Send your goddamn for boom. If you're poor, what's that? So would the coming of the Son of Man be. Hey. Is that his car? Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompts and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
In a world filled with challenges, we all need guidance, hope, and a lifeline to anchor us.
This is Lifeline, and I'm your host, Fred Crunchy Mensa.
For social issues, relationship challenges, and family matters, Lifeline is here to inspire, uplift, and guide you on your journey.
Where we give you support, where we hold your hand through the valley and through the thick and thins of life.
Join Bishop Fred Crunchy Mensa.
I welcome you specially to Lifeline.
Every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. right here on Channel 1 TV. Let's walk this path together, strengthen our faith, our families, and our lives. Lifeline, because every soul deserves a guiding light. Tune in to Lifeline on Channel 1 TV and let's grow together.
Hello again. Up next is Channel 1 Business with Nete Ajaho.
Channel 1 Business is brought to you by MTN and EcoBank.
How may I help you today?
We'd like to open a bank account.
Sign here, sign here, sign here, and here. And now you draw direction to your house. I need your thumbprint. And I'll need your birth certificate too. No, I need the original.
A lot has changed since you bank like this. So have we. We've made it easier than ever to open an account online and bank on the go through our mobile app, online banking, and more. EcoBank, a better way to bank your way.
Sign here, and here.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Good news with the inflation rate keeps dropping.
Yes, it keeps dropping. It's going below the target, and by the end of the year, which is next month, I know it's go further.
No, we are going to be enjoying Christmas and a great shopping at Agri Fair.
Yes, very, very much. The prices are going to go down very,
Of course. Please tell us more.
Okay, let's get straight to our stories. And Ghana's inflation rate has dropped to 8% in October 2025, extending a steady decline for the 10th consecutive month. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, the latest data shows a 1.4 percentage point fall from the 9.4% recorded in September and a sharp improvement from the 23.8% rate recorded in December 2024, underscoring the continued easing of price pressures in the economy. Speaking at a press briefing in Accra, government statistician Dr. Idrisu Al-Hassan said month-on-month inflation also fell by 0.4%, indicating a modest decline in general price levels across major consumer categories.
Ladies and gentlemen, in October 2025, inflation reduced to 8% from 9.4% in September. This means that prices in Ghana were 8% higher in October 2025 than they were in October last year. This inflation rate is what we call year-on-year inflation. It tells us how much prices have changed over 12 months. The 8% year-on-year inflation rate is lower than the September 2025 inflation rate of 9.4% by 1.4 percentage points, and far below the inflation rate of 23.8% we saw at the end of last year. This marks the 10th straight month of decline in inflation and the lowest inflation rate in 4 years. When we look at prices from September to October 2025, that is month-on-month inflation, prices actually fell a little by 0.4%. So on the average, things cost slightly less in October than in September.
Now, the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SSNIT, has reaffirmed its commitment to broadening pension coverage to include traders, artisans, farmers, and other self-employed individuals as part of efforts to enhance income security and ensure better livelihoods in retirement. Speaking at a symposium to commemorate SSNIT's 60th anniversary, Director General Kwesi Afrebani said the trust is rolling out initiatives aimed at making its services more accessible and inclusive. He emphasized that SSNIT is strategically positioning itself to fulfill its mandate effectively.
Our commitment is to make the first-year scheme stronger, more inclusive, transparent, and responsive to the rapidly evolving world of work. We would all agree that the world of work has changed, and we are working with the Ministry of Labor, Jobs and Employment, as well as the National Pensions Regulatory Authority to ensure that all three tiers complement each other and for all of us to achieve the goals for which the three-tier scheme was set up for. A key priority for us is expanding coverage. A significant portion of Ghana's workforce, traders, artisans, drivers, farmers, and self-employed professionals still remain outside the scheme. This must change, and we believe that every worker in Ghana deserves income security in old age. For us as an institution, we are of the opinion that we need to expand on coverage. And to make it easier to expand on coverage, it was important for us to make our services much closer to the people we serve, beyond what we've done over the years.
Now, Deputy Finance Minister Thomas Nyakwampim has described Ghana's persistently low tax-to-GDP ratio as a major obstacle to sustainable national development. Speaking at the launch of the Sustained National Tax Education Program and Modified Taxation Scheme in Accra, he said the gap highlights the urgent need to strengthen tax education and reform efforts to improve compliance and expand the tax base. The Sustained National Tax Education Program and Modified Taxation Scheme aims to bring more than 2 million potential taxpayers into the national tax net over the next few years. According to the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Anthony Sapong, the initiative will help improve Ghana's tax-to-GDP ratio and enhance revenue mobilization efforts in the years ahead.
We estimate that potentially the population of this segment is about 8 million. We plan to target enrolling about 2 million potentially within the next 3 years into the tax net. If we do so with an average of 5,000 Ghana cedis per individual for 2 million people for the next 3 years, we'll be bringing into the tax net 10 billion Ghana cedis for phase 1. In the phase 2, we'll work to bring in the additional 6 million into the tax net, and that will bring in additional 30 billion Ghana cedis into the tax net. So this has a huge potential.
Deputy Finance Minister Thomas Nyako Ampem revealed that Ghana's tax-to-GDP ratio was estimated at 13.6% in 2024, well below the sub-Saharan African average of 16.2%. And this is far short of the 20% target set for developing economies.
Ghana's tax-to-GDP ratio presents a concerning picture. Despite efforts, our tax-to-GDP ratio remains below the Africa's average of 16.2%, 27% for advanced economies, and falls short of the 20% target set by ECOWAS. In 2024, Ghana's tax revenue averaged around 13.6% of GDP, highlighting the need for more effective tax policies and administration to boost revenue collection and support economic transformation. This government, led by His Excellency President Mahama, is committed to using tax revenues prudently. We understand the trust placed on us.
Let's now bring you an update on how the currency is performing on the interbank market. And that's all for business. I am Neteli Nete Ajahu. Back to you, Frema.
Thank you very much, Neteli. Now to some other stories. Officers from the Environmental Health Department of the South Municipal Assembly have visited the Galilea market to assess sanitation conditions and explore practical measures to address hygiene challenges in the area. However, the visit was marred by an incident involving a female staff member of the department who allegedly harassed Channel 1 News' Central Regional Correspondent, Akwesiado, while he was covering the exercise.
The inspection followed a Channel 1 News report that exposed the deplorable sanitation conditions at the Galilea market and its surrounding community. In that earlier report, residents expressed fears of a possible disease outbreak due to choked drains and a poorly managed waste transfer site that had become a breeding ground for mosquitoes and emitted a strong stench. They also lamented the inaction of authorities, despite the market's proximity to the municipal assembly. Led by the Municipal Environmental Health Officer, Fred Dumasi, the team visited the area to assess the situation. However, tensions flared when officers attempted to issue summonses to some market leaders.
It is my front because I'm a secretary to the market. It is my front to clean it myself. But I had been cleaning even as I came. I was then doing it. So they have to help us to do it. Even I told them they should give us the caterpillar. I'll buy the fuel so that the way they will be clean for us. So the assembly they have to come to our aid. Serious. That one is my humble plea.
A further point of contention arose when the officers demanded that the market leadership fund certain drainage works, a suggestion that sparked heated exchanges.
I've seen if it wouldn't have been the interlock that we did last time, they wouldn't have come. So now they came and they are talking something about it and we hope it is going to yield fruit.
Despite the chaos, community leaders have commenced Citi FM and Channel 1 TV for bringing the issue to light, expressing hope that the coverage will lead to meaningful action. According to a former assemblyman for the area, David Bolo, previous complaints to the assembly went unaddressed. He, however, assured that residents are ready to collaborate with authorities to resolve the sanitation crisis. Meanwhile, Channel 1 News' correspondent Akwesi Yado was reportedly assaulted by a female staff member of the Environmental Health Department who tried to stop him from filming the confrontation between the officers and some residents. The staff member, whose name is yet to be confirmed, allegedly grabbed the reporter's phone and attempted to destroy it, insisting he had no right to record the scene. It took the intervention of residents to de-escalate the situation.
I'll give the 100% because we had been doing these videos over here, which we didn't know, we didn't heard anything about it. But now, just what we did last week, they've come. Meaning, Channel 1 have done well. Because if it really had what we did last week, this action will not come. So I hope they should continue for them to come and do the thing for us.
Okay.
We even I, for instance, if they give us the drip caterpillar, there, I will organize the food.
Citi FM, Ghana's leading radio station, has celebrated its 21st anniversary, marking over 2 decades of broadcasting excellence and community engagement while maintaining its commitment to delivering credible news and diverse programming. Management and staff gathered in an atmosphere of gratitude to commemorate their milestone. Ajubi Wiafia Kenton has more in this report.
It was a solemn Thanksgiving ceremony as management and staff of Citi FM reflected on the station's 21-year journey. The event was filled with worship and songs of praise and gratitude for the goodness of God as the team celebrated the station's achievements over the years. General Manager of the station, Bernard Avle, recounted Citi FM's journey, highlighting the challenges, triumphs, and valuable lessons learned along the way.
So it's not been 21 years of roses, it's been 21 years of different challenges. But God is faithful. Because when we started, we were not very clear what the journey was going to look like. Even though we had a strategy and a plan, it wasn't very obvious how the market was going to accept us. So it's not as if we always knew what to do, but we've seen God's grace working throughout.
Managing Director Samia Tamensa reflected on Citi FM's journey, highlighting the roles of time, chance, and perseverance in the station's success.
Ecclesiastes 9:11. He goes on to say, but I have seen something else under the sun. And then he said, the race is not to the swift, or the battle to the strong, nor does food come only to the wise, or wealth to the brilliant, or favor to the learned, but time and chance happens to them all. Now I'd like to acknowledge Uncle Nick, whose vision and drive and investment opened the doors for the establishment of Citi FM, which is 21 years old. I like to acknowledge Sheni Adetu for his encouragement, the wise counsel, the direction, and everything that Sheni did for me. The person that I would never ever tell my story without recognizing is Mr. Kwesi Chum. Mr. Kwesi Chum is the founder of Multimedia Broadcasting, and I always thank Kwesi Chum for giving me the opportunity. Indeed, I can say that but for him, I wouldn't be here.
Citi FM's story is not just about media success. It is a testament to faith, endurance, and the pursuit of relevance. Citi FM, your relevant radio, always. For Channel 1 News, I am Ejibi Wiafe Akintin.
And we say a big congratulations to Citi FM. This is Channel 1 Newsroom, still ahead. Suspension of professional boxing in Ghana lifted effective November 6, 2025. We'll be right back. Do stay.
You are welcome to two of Ghana's finest addresses, Willow Lane and Alphabet City, located at Sakomon. Alphabet City is a premier gated community with 24/7 security. Willow Lane, where luxury meets comfort, spacious 4-bedroom homes with walk-in closet, elevators, and gourmet kitchens. Two lifestyles, one trusted developer at Waylead. Our buildings are ready for you to move in right now. So visit waylead.org or call 0240-111119 to book a private tour today. Waylead, your trusted home builder.
Hey Ghana, so you people know me brother once more. If you knew, it's your boy. Kill them all, kill them all. But this time, I'm not only killing mosquitoes, I am killing the grades. See? This wouldn't have been possible if I didn't have the perfect mosquito-free atmosphere. Thank you, Out Insecticide. And yeah, Out Mosquito Coil. For a mosquito-free atmosphere, trust Out to... You are not serious.
Out Insecticide. So ya boa, faha.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
I'm the second coming. Into all this tension, just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Trout from Kaswa dear. Why wouldn't he be late? Obeying later.
Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. Yeah, you go feel the luckiest. Coffee from Georgia be luckiest. From Natepia, cause she be luckiest. Yeah, you go feel be luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest. Everybody go feel be the luckiest.
That's Kwame!
Send your God the apple boom. If you put it with a so would the coming of the Son of Man be.
Hey!
Is that his car?
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompts and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
You're welcome back. Up next is Channel 1 Sports with Bernard Abeikochi. Bernard.
Hi, Frames.
Let's just go straight to sports.
That's great. Let's get into it, shall we now? The National Sports Authority has lifted the suspension on professional boxing in Ghana effective Thursday, November 6, 2025. This follows the completion of reforms led by the Ghana Boxing Interim Management Committee. The new framework now includes published medical and safety manuals, a functional interim medical commission, a centralized medical records system, and an approved insurance structure for all licensed boxers. The authority says these measures are designed to safeguard athletes and strengthen professional practice across the sport. Promoters are now encouraged to stage events under the updated regulations as Ghana repositions itself within the global boxing landscape. Well, let's now talk about the night of drama, the UEFA Champions League, and Carabao hosted Chelsea in a competitive encounter. I am Bernard Abiko. Frames, that's your sports.
Thank you very much, Bernard. And this is where we part company. This has been the Channel 1 Newsroom. Many thanks for your time. I'm Frima Ediname.